today's video. I finally edited Coco Bandicoot from my live stream in a full digital painting. This entire digital painting was done with my iPad Pro with my Apple Pencil 2, and this was one of those that actually one of my fellow YouTube friends who goes by Joshua, who is a huge fan of the Crash Bandicoot series and Coco Bandicoot. So this was a really cool live stream that we did together. It was almost 4 hours, so you haven't checked that out. I'll leave the link right here for you guys, and I will be using footage from some gameplay of Crash Team Racing and some of the Crash games from Joshua's channel. So go ahead and consider subscribing to that channel as well. Now, one of the reasons I decided to start this type of fan art drawings is just to kind of see what makes these characters so unique and popular. And just by looking at her design, she is a blonde bandicoot who wears overalls, big red shoes. She has these goggles on her head. She used to wear a flower in one of her older designs. She is a very tech-savvy individual. She's always holding her pink laptop. And here's a little backstory so we can know who Coco Bandicoot is. So Coco Bandicoot was first seen in Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. She was first seen in one of the cutscenes living in Insanity Island with Crash. But she was first made playable in Crash Bandicoot Warped, where she and Crash are called upon by Aku Aku to use the End Trophy's Time Twister machine and gather the powerful crystals scattered throughout the time before Cortex can use them to brainwash the entire world. And just a little backstory of her, she is the younger sister of Crash Bandicoot, and just like her brother and his girlfriend, she was captured and mutated by Neocortex. She is highly intelligent, a tech savvy, and helping her brother out, top and technological know-how. And one of the first steps in creating Coco was using a light blue pencil brush in Procreate's variety of brushes. And this one, I chose a very simple pose so that we can just see everything from head to toe on how she was created, and just to make out her silhouette. So she is a very slender character with bright yellow blonde hair, light yellow fur, with her blue overalls, the pink heart on her knee, and big red shoes. And with her friendly, appealing design, she's the perfect mascot for the Crash series, just like Crash Bandicoot. And one of the things that made it really fun for me to really go all in with detail for Coco was with the reference photo that I used. She was super detailed, and it was almost more of a 3D rendered reference photo that I used. So I kind of went in with that same idea. So I made sure that she had textures in her hair that resembled color pencil and also watercolor as well. And I used the alpha lock feature in one of her layers for the solid colors that I used, and I made sure to shadow everything from her hair, her chin, around her eyes, the goggles, her pants, her arms, everything that you see to make her feel rounded. Her form, we needed to have highlights, middle tones, and even some cast shadows to make sure she is not flat. And this required me to use darker colors from the base ones. So for example, in her blonde color, I used more of a darker brown to resemble some of the shadows, and almost pure white highlights for the top of her hair where the light was coming from. And same thing with her overalls, a darker blue really did help out to distinguish where the shadows are laying and next to each other. So that really emphasizes that 3D look when it has a variety of – blues of colored tones, and it really does help round out that form. And for the final details, I did use the leather brush for her pants to have that texture and make it feel like there are some stitches in the clothing on her shirt, especially the overalls. And I manually went in and added a few stitches and textures in the shoes as well, in her overalls, and I did some glossy highlights in the eyes, added some shadows within the ear canals, and I did a few hair streaks as well, and then I zoomed in everywhere to clean up all the lines to make them as sharp and smooth as possible. And I even have some gameplay where you can see her in her platforming perfection. She's very nimble, she's very slim, and she's a quick character. So you can see her holding her bright pink laptop, and you can see her ponytail moving. And also you can see her in full 3D, so you can see her form as well. And not only that, she also has some gameplay from Crash Team Racing as well. And it's also really cool to see the old school PS1, PlayStation 1 polygon models versus the brand new Crash Team Racing from the modern times, and just kind of compare the two because they're both equally charming and detailed in their own way. Obviously, depending on the hardware of the time as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be leaving you with this rest of the time-lapse video where you can see the highly rendered version of the final drawing. Hopefully you enjoy, and leave a comment if you're a fan of the Crash Bandicoot series and Coco as well. Make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.